Hey you, thanks for clicking on the video. I hope you've been doing well, hope your day's been treating you good. 2024, new year, brand new me. New game has stolen my heart. Here, let me show you what I've been doing.
What was that? You think this is dodgeball, bud? Come on, Tender. I've seen coupons that save more than you. Congratulations, team. You suck. I've seen better hands on a digital clock.
Tape to Tape is an early access roguelike hockey game that I purchased because I've been wanting to get into hockey more recently. Now I'm gonna get right to the get with you. This game is 100% worth the purchase. I got it for $15 on sale. If you're catching it off sale, it's worth $20. The only thing I have to add on to that is it is an early access game, but this is one of the situations where it feels like early access is a tag that's thrown on kind of to cover the developer's ass, just to let you know the game will change. In its current state, I do firmly believe it stands on its own. With that out of the way, there's one last thing I kind of want to touch on before we get into the game. There's going to be about 7 different achievements you're not going to see pop up Steam style in the bottom left. That's because I played this game a little bit before I decided to get all the achievements. Kind of an issue with videos like mine. How do I know that I want to do a video on a game and get all the achievements for it recorded unless I've already played some of it or I just record everything that I do? That's not going to happen, so rather than deleting all the achievements and re-getting them for the video's sake, I just went ahead and moved forward. I'll tell you about them because you can get them all within the first hour or two. The game's campaign starts off by throwing you into the tutorial playing as Angus McShaggy, a professional golfer turned professional hockey player who is looking to win the hockey cup and restore its magic to the lands. Now, hockey's current elite is the only thing standing in between him and his destiny, but they're about to find out. Angus McShaggy is the only thing that gets hotter when you put him on ice. When you start a new campaign, you're given Angus McShaggy to begin your team. Then you'll need to choose between one of 3 stars that are randomly generated, and these stars will be recurring throughout the campaign. They're either going to be on your team or on an enemy's team.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers does not like you.
Now the next thing you have the option to choose from is a team artifact. Your artifact is going to change how you play the game pretty significantly. For example, I have this whistle. When I'm up on goals, time passes twice as fast. Or there's this remarkable rock. The first goal for either team is worth 2 points. And finally, your team's rounded out with 3 bench warmers that have,
What is that?
big dreams. They got big dreams.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, and how can I forget our goalie, the Butcher, who got his name because he's consistently butchering our hopes and dreams of a successful run. One second, I do want to take a moment to just vent about this dude. The only thing consistent about him is his ability to flip-flop between a wet paper bag and goalie god. The next big distinction I believe I need to make is how the campaign is actually set up. Now, when you start a new campaign, it has 3 acts, and each act has a boss at the end. Now, you need to beat those bosses to move on to the next act or to finish the game. Before you can get to those bosses, you have to beat 2 elite teams. And in between those elite teams, you have to make the decision between either a challenge game, a rest spot, or an event. All 3 of those decisions will get your team rewarded with upgrades to make fighting those elite and those boss teams a little bit easier. After every game, you're rewarded with rubber.
Whoa, whoops, oh! I dropped my monster condom that I used for my Magnum Dom,
which is this game's currency. In between every single run, you can spend the rubber that you've earned on buying new stars, buying new skills, or upgrading Angus's stats permanently for future runs. I'll start my 100% achievement story off chronologically because, like, why wouldn't I? You start off being thrown in the tutorial like I had mentioned earlier, playing as Angus McShaggy. And for finishing that tutorial, you're given an achievement, which only 91% of players who have played this game have unlocked. Now, after you complete the tutorial, naturally you would start up a new campaign, so that's what I did. I'll be honest, I don't remember which star that I tried to beat the game with first. I do remember which team beat me first.
And for the cherry on top, you let the greasy lettuce put our asses on a bun, add some cheese, and serve it to us with French fries.
The greasy lettuce's speed is absolutely no joke when you're brand new to the game.
Get him up, let him get up, let him get up, let him get up.
Like a true hockey player, though, I took my ass whooping, I spit my tooth out, I got up, I stared him right in the eyes. Knockout! I took my second ass whipping, but third time's the charm, though. I was finally able to beat them to unlock Puck Dynasty for beating my first elite team, and 3P for scoring 3 goals in a game. You know what's super fun as well? How hockey just lets you hit anybody, anywhere, anytime. It's kind of crazy. Look at this right here. Do you think football would let you just get away with this? Yikes! Now, I took full advantage of this feature and put 5 people on the ice to unlock my next achievement, Palace of Pain. Remember, ladies, if you want some real D, just find you a man who could put it down like Angus. Now, that's some solid D. Now, there's a few achievements directly related to using a special ability to its fullest extent. The first one that I was able to unlock was totally legal for knocking down 5 players with 1 tomahawk throw. And to round off the achievements you're not going to see pop up Steam style, I was able to beat the officials, which is the first boss, my first go around. Beating them the first time unlocks you Octo approved. I was also able to register at least 40 shots in the game, which unlocked me Peppered. Now let me tell you something, these guys are arguably one of the hardest bosses throughout all the campaign runs that I did, because they do not play fair. This is a 5v6 right from the get. The referee here is going to make sure that you never win a face-off. He's going to make sure that your first goal, like 50% of the time, isn't going to count. He's going to grab the puck from you and throw it back towards your goal randomly, and then sometimes he's going to count some random breeze of the wind as a goal for the enemy team.
Cheating bastard.
I think the most egregious thing that I've seen happen to me was a referee pick up the puck right in front of their goal, throw it to our goal, ping it off of our pole, and call that a goal for the enemy team. The last time they touched the puck was like 2.5 minutes ago.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
But it's alright, because we slide on past them and earn our stripes. I know, I'm sorry, that pun was foul. Now, Act 2 throws us into the Kingsland, where the elite teams you fight are the Princesses and the Crusaders. Now, both of these teams are a little bit harder than the first Act's elite teams, with the Princesses ass blasting you and the puck around, and the Crusaders pretty much just funneling it into Prince Tristan. Now, the Crusaders game plan specifically is on some gooberness. Playing against them allowed me to mercy rule them and unlock the achievement Blowout King for getting at least 4 points up on the elite team. Now, pushing past those 2 elite teams lets us fight the second boss of the game, the Cup Cult. Now, the cultists are honestly not that hard. They freeze either your star player or Angus for 45 seconds roughly. Their defense instantly teleports back, and every now and then they teleport into the evil version of a different star, and they get equipped with all those attributes and special abilities that that star typically has. They really weren't too much of a hassle though. I was able to beat them and unlock Cult Crusher for doing so. I guess you could say they weren't so difficult. I'm sorry, that was another bad pun. I really did try to come up with some good puns for cults, but all the ones I could think of, the punchlines were too long. Act 3 brings us to Promised Land and 2 new elite teams that we need to face off against. The first team that we face off against will be the Mountaineers. They go flying and flinging around with grappling hooks that can be hard to keep track of, and they're pretty standard as far as an elite team goes. The Disco, on the other hand, can fuck all the way off. Either way, we push past those chumps to get to the final boss of the game, the Golfers. Their rink is a cool mixture between a golfing green and a hockey rink, and their team is a fuck train with absolutely 0 breaks. This team has 2 stars, Cornelius Putson, who's an absolute goofball, and Pam Pumpernickel, who's an absolute unit. Now, Pam runs around 3-stick style like she's this game's very own Zorro from One Piece, which would make sense. You could tell she's been practicing her hockey. Bad puns aside, this is easily the hardest boss that I've faced, which would make sense because they are the final boss of the game. Pam Pumpernickel is an absolute fucking monster when she sits in front of your goal. They lob their passes so you really can't intercept them, and they get better every single period.
Steroids, Brian.
But after many failed attempts, many failed runs, I'm finally able to put them down and earn myself Concord Greens for beating the game and winning Act 3. And that's going to be it as far as the story goes. Roguelite hockey game, pretty straightforward. We're getting all the achievements though, and it's a roguelike, so you already know this isn't our only run through. In fact, the big achievement that we're going for, the one that will kind of encompass all the other achievements by the end of it, is called Tape to Tape, which you earn for beating the campaign with every star that's available. And in its current form, there are 14 available stars for you to purchase and play as. Thank God I like this game. Now, in my first run through, the one I was just talking about, Gideon LaMustache was my star, so we can strike him off the list. And let me tell you, striking one off the list felt so good. Actually way better than the 14th one.
Who would have thought? Not me.
But that's alright. Between the first and the 14th run, there's a couple of achievements we're aiming to get here. So let's talk about those. During my third successful run, my star was Sergei Lancelov. Now he comes pre-packaged with the headshot redirect ability, which allows you to take a shot at the goal, but bounce it off of one of your teammates' faces while doing so. Now, if you're successful in using this ability, you unlock the achievement Dental Toughness, which you see here. A couple more achievements I got off screen are the Night Rises and Peak Performance. When you're going through the first act, if you pick an event, there's a possibility that you're given the option to replace one of your current bench warmers with a not so great bench warmer named Gawain Goretzky. But Gawain has an ability to evolve after every boss that you beat. Now there's an achievement for evolving Gawain, but I misread it. I thought the achievement was for fully evolving Gawain, getting him in Act 1 and getting all the way to Act 3 with him. Not the case. You just had to beat one boss, so I was not prepared and was not recording when I unlocked the Night Rises for evolving Gawain the first time. The other one was Peak Performance, which isn't my fault actually. This one popped early. I was upgrading my stats in between runs and fully upgraded my third stat. Now to get Peak Performance, you're supposed to upgrade all 4 stat lines that your character can permanently upgrade. I got this achievement after permanently upgrading to its max 3 of those stat lines, so I wasn't recording for it.
And this is where I put a trophy. If I had one! Sorry, what's the happy?
But as you can see on screen right here, this is me actually maxing out the 4th stat line where I should have gotten the achievement. Now the next achievement I ended up unlocking was called Highlight Reel, which you get for using the special ability Yo-Yo to score a goal. That in itself isn't too hard. The issue is it's a little bit buggy right now. It can't touch the pole and it can't touch the goalie, which is very hard. After like my 20th goal, I was able to finally get it on a Doomed Kelly Jelly run, which was good. The disco unfortunately put that run down, and this achievement was the only silver lining to that waste of 45 minutes. God damn it. Fuck. During my Willy Bree run, I was able to earn enough coinage to unlock all of the possible superstars we can play as, which also unlocks me the achievement All-Star Squad. Now I need to address the only achievement that I was a little worried wasn't going to come organically. Its name is Balanced Offense, and you get it for making sure that every person on your team scores a goal in the game. Now what makes this really hard to come organically is the only games you can actually achieve this in would be the boss games. If you scored 4 points in a challenge game or an elite game, you'll end up mercy ruling the other team and you wouldn't be able to get every person to score a goal. Now organically I've come close many times. Defense men just do not come through. They're unreliable in the goal scoring department. So I hatched a little scheme.
We were brainstorming some ideas the other night and came up with a whole new approach. When Georgina said that security is a level above anything I've encountered before, she was right. So, there's going to be 3 parts to our heist. Scoping, prepping, and the score, except this time they're all going to be much more interrelated. You see what
I did was I created a custom game, a 3v3. It is really easy to have 3 people score a goal. Within 7 minutes of earning All-Star Squad, that scheme had earned me Balanced Offense, which is the only one I was really worried about throughout this entire run. That leaves 2 achievements left to finish the game. One of them will come organically while finishing the other one, and the other one is the big bad for beating the game with every star available. Now, I play on standard. For a successful standard run, it takes 50 minutes to an hour. The last achievement I just spoke on was during my 8th run, meaning I would have at minimum 6 runs of nothing but success to go ahead and finish the game. That means I would have about 6 hours worth of running, give or take some failed attempts, we'll say about 8 hours. That 8 hours is really where I solidified my opinion on this game. This game is incredibly fun, with my only points of frustrations being the player switching system sometimes being a little wonky when you're only playing by yourself, and the disco team feeling a little unbalanced and ending a few of my runs in not so fun or fair ways. But run after run, I began to put this game away until I got to my final one with Buckwurst. One last game, one last time, one last round of the golfers, and they made this one pretty easy for me too, so I want to take a moment to just thank them for that. And with that last game, I put this run to rest. I got all the achievements, and I got this cool finisher screen, which you only get once you've finished the game with all the characters. Ultimately, for our tape-to-tape journey, I think I want to leave it on one last note. I definitely think this game is worth $20. Please feel free to go and purchase it and try it out yourself. It's not a sponsored video, I just really loved the game. I want to take a moment to thank you for joining me on this video. It's the first one I've actually completed 100% video and game since Dishonored. But that's besides the point. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. If you enjoyed it, let me know. I hope you have a wonderful day.